First package in a while. So what we have here is a Matchbox Sky Busters Boeing 747-8. These right here, right there, and right there are the -400s. And yeah, it's number 7 out of 32. Let's see here. Yep, officially licensed product. There and there. Looks pretty good. I like it. The packaging's nice. I like the packaging. It's nice. But as every review, it requires to be opened. I do, however, have another 747 on the way. It's a 400. It's from 1998. I'm not going to tell you where it's from, but it is one that I'm not going to wreck the packaging on. So here's 747-8. I'm just going to pan this down a little bit. Here's the -8. It's your regular ass Boeing factory livery. Yeah, it's got blue wings. Everything here, blue. All this down here, this dark blue, is plastic. And above it's metal, obviously. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's basically, it's the same, it's basically the same mold, essentially. Except they just altered the wings and such. Yeah, it's the same mold as the, basically the same mold as the 400, except there's metal that black bit, right here, but there isn't metal there. It's only on the top half. And then this comes down, this metal bit was white, and then there's the middle bit here, that's silver. See the line there, that's where the metal separates. But yeah, I got the -8 because I want to fill out my 747 fleet fully, but however, problem. Matchbox did in fact make 747-200s, but I don't think they made 100s or 300s, but the 200s are a good substitute. However, the 200s from Matchbox are super rare to find. The only ones that I've seen are either banged up, like we're talking paint chips and such, kind of like this citation here, all paint chipped and such, or there's pieces missing. I can't really seem to find one in the box. So if anyone knows of anywhere where I could find one, that would be very, very helpful and amazing. Because my hyper focus specifically is the 747-400. Specifically the M, 747M, as in marshmallow. So that one can carry both cargo and passengers. They only did that for the 200, the 300, and the 400. Those were rare. KLM was the only large company, airline, that used the 747-400 combis, which is a combination of either passenger or cargo on the main deck. They have not, as far as my knowledge tells me, they have not made a combi version of the -8. Although a combi version of the -8 would have been really cool. But in this day and age, you either have a cargo branch of your airline or a passenger branch of your airline. So that kind of kills the purpose of the combi. Which in that case, it's a dying breed. KLM recently retired theirs at the beginning of COVID, which is sad, to say the least. However, I have seen a 747-400 fly into an airport near where I live. By near, I mean Vancouver International. It was a 747-400 from Lufthansa, which I sent it to many people. I was like, hey, would you want to go on a trip with me to Germany just for this plane and only for this plane? No one responded yet, but some of them thought it was interesting. And I even sent them to my family. They thought it was cool. So here's the -8. I like the -8, honestly. I honestly like the Dash 8. Looking at the mold, it looks like they use the Dash 400 engines, which they are still making, which Matchbox is still making the Dash 400. But it's got this. Oh, this gear has wheels. I thought it was like the Dream Chaser where it didn't have wheels. Well, actually, like this 415 here. How this one, its wheels, they don't roll. But this one, it has wheels. It has wheels. It has wheels and they roll. I thought it was going to be like the 415 that I just showed you. But no, it's got the wheels. However, again, painful thing, not the landing gear that I like, which is this one. But it is an amazing addition to this outfit here made up of three 747-400s, two of them Matchbox Sky Busters liveries, and this one an NWA Airlines 747-400. You may notice she's a little banged up and has seen better days and is very used looking. That has a story behind it. I can say this now that I am out of high school, because this is when it happened. Grade 12, we were doing this stupid ass fucking big buddy program. I don't know if you guys had that during your school time, but I had to do it in elementary school with kindergartners. Then I had to do it again in high school for English class. And the teacher singled me out and gave me the heavily disabled child. Sad, because halfway through, kid died. Now for me, I didn't know this kid. This kid didn't know me. I was like, oh, well, this is awesome. I don't have to deal with anyone anymore. Teacher's like, okay, pair up with this other kid. And I'm like, okay, but yeah, he doesn't like me, but whatever. So I paired up with this other dude, and I saw a chance. There were two NWA 747s. One of them, their horizontal stabilizer was missing. There was also a DC-3, kind of like this one, but it wasn't this one. It was a green one. I thought to myself, which one would look cooler? I have a lot of DC-3s. I don't have a lot of 747s. So I'm taking NWA for sure. And there it is. That's the story behind it. I snuck it out of that classroom. Teachers never knew. The good thing about elementary schools is if you're going to visit the kids, like if it's like parent teacher night or something, and your kid wants to play with stuff, encourage it and say, if you see any toy planes that see Matchbox on them, take them. Kid be like, but that's stealing. That's not right. I'm like, and then you're like, but it is right, because it is history. It is model/toy history that deserves to be taken care of and not destroyed by gremlins. But yeah, I like it. It has these two antennas. I'm not even sure what those are for. I think they're ADF or something. I actually don't know. If anyone could chime off in the comments what those two antennas there are for, this will focus. What those two antennas are for, let me know. Yeah, I like it a lot. I like the 747-8. It's beautiful. Every 747 is beautiful. Like every girl is beautiful in a different way. Every 747 is beautiful in its own way. Like, for an example, the Mystery X Thai Airways 747-400 BCF combat freighter that was reconfigured from passenger to freight, that X Thai one that I saw in Heathrow, it was beautiful. I loved its purple tail. It had no company name on it. It was an X Thai Airways 747-400. So if anyone knows which company owns it, then just chime off in the comments. Let me know. I can do some research on the company. One of these days, when I get the second 747, the older one that I'm getting from the past century, I will do some sort of a documentary style video of the 747 series, which I will use what is here in front of me, what my resources will allow. Most of it will probably just be reading a book straight from a book, or just talking about them, or rambling, but there's not much to say about the 747-8, this one. It's just your typical ass blue Boeing livery. And also, I have to say this before I say this, but I am not suicidal, period. I feel like Boeing went downhill as soon as they stopped making the 747, period. Whether it be the 747-8 or the 747-400. If it had 747 and they ceased making it, their company went downhill fast. Sure, the 747-8 was still in production when those first 3 MAXs happened. The Ethiopian, the Lion Air, and the... who else was it? I can't remember. It was those 2 big ones. The Lion Air and the Ethiopian one. After those 2 happened, I know for a fact that they were still making the 747-8, but I feel like the company just fucking went downhill really quick and really fast and very horribly after they stopped making that guy. Well, these 2. Because I feel like the A380, it didn't live as long as the 747 in total. 747's been around since I want to say late 60s, early 70s. It's been around for that long. So it's been around for around 50 plus years. So yeah, I feel like this in the long run played out better than the A380, because A, it's still around, and B, the A380 is being retired already, which is very, very concerning based off of its age. They started designing it in the 80s, and then 20 years later or so, they flew it in late 2000s, early 2010s. And 747s have been around way longer. And as soon as the A380 flew, the last of the 200s were being retired, and the last of the 300s. And we're making way for the 400s, well, in some way, shape, and form. And later on down the road, the Dash 8s, which were in development at the time. And to the market, the Dash 8 was a flop. 747-8 was a flop. It didn't have as much passenger clients because 787 was around, 777 was around, and the A380 was around. And the A350 was starting to come online too. So, and they looked at it and they're like, we have that thing. And they're pointing to the A380 and whatever else there is. But the cargo market seemed to love it. They seemed to enjoy it. Even the Asian market loved the 747-8. Korean Air, Cathay Pacific, China Airlines. I think ANA and Japan Airlines to some extent. I think. No, Japan Airlines did not get it, but I think ANA got it. I can't remember, but there's a lot of companies in Asia that operated the Dash 8, either for cargo or for passenger. even Lufthansa love the Dash 8. They have a Dash 8 as well, I think. Even Qatar has a Dash 8. Yeah, they do. I think it's for cargo. But a lot of companies have the Dash 8. Atlas got the last one that was off the assembly line before they shut it down. Once I saw that, my body shifted, like, entirely. Like, it had a major ass chill. And I'm like, something changed. Something changed in the world. And not even a couple years later, Boeing is going downhill. It's crazy. Again, I'm not suicidal, but I'm rambling. But I'm staying on topic to some extent, which is crazy. I never stay on topic. Yeah, the Dash 8 and the 400 are the 400 itself is my favorite. Because I was born in 05, so do the math. And it's basically been around my whole life until, well, it's still flying today, but in smaller numbers. So it's basically been around my whole life. And the Dash 8 hasn't been around for my whole life. So I'm more partial to the 400, and also because it was the last double-decker to fly into Hong Kong's Kai Tak. The old ICAO code is Victor Hotel Hotel X-Ray. And then once Kai Tak closed down Chek Lap Kok, the new one opened that's on a different part of Hong Kong that has more space and longer runways. That opened. Kai Tak closed down. I mean, they remade the checkerboard pattern. They fixed it up, but it doesn't really do it justice as to how impactful it was on the world. Despite Kai Tak's small size, it had a substantial cargo hub. It was a substantial cargo hub. And don't forget, Hong Kong is a port city. This thing would have done wonders on the Kai Tak approach. How I know that? Well, 2 words. Flight simulator. 2 more words. Realistic settings. And the Dash 8, Cathay Pacific Cargo specifically. I tried it on the Kai Tak approach because I have scenery for Kai Tak, and it worked surprisingly well. It worked really well. 747-400 was a control. It worked really well, but this one was okay, but it was slower to turn, so I was getting a bit scared on the final straightaway, but other than that, it was fine. I landed, didn't go in the water like that one 747 in Kai Tak, which was the only accident there that's known to my knowledge. But yeah, that's wasn't much of a review, it was more of a 747 talk. I swear this should become a podcast, but I don't exactly have the equipment to do that. But yeah, there's the 747-8 Matchbox Sky Buster from 2016. Skybuster model 137. Really? 137? I thought it would have been less. But yeah, it's a 747-8. There's another 747-8 that I want to get. It's a teal and white one. Well, it's more of a seafoam green and white, which is pretty cool. It gives me Asian sort of Asian type vibe, despite it having some sort of Hawaiian name on it. If you look up Matchbox 747-8, you'll see it. You'll find it. There's even a Disneyland one, celebrating 80 years of Disneyland. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, that's Dash 8. And that's about it.